Word of the Week, Sunday, September 28th. Love is a daily practice. Today's Gospel is from Luke chapter 16, verses 19 to 26. There was a rich man who dressed in purple garments and fine linen, and dined sumptuously each day. And lying at his gate was a poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores, who would gladly have eaten his fill of the scraps that fell from the rich man's table. When the poor man died, he was carried away by angels to the bosom of Abraham. The rich man also died, and from the netherworld, where he was in torment, he raised his eyes and saw Abraham far off and Lazarus at his side. And he cried out, "Father Abraham, have pity on me." Abraham replied, "My child, remember that you received what was good during your lifetime, while Lazarus likewise received what was bad. But now he is comforted here, whereas you are tormented. Moreover, between us and you, a great chasm is established to prevent anyone from crossing." Reflection. Quotation. What you sow, you reap. End quote. From Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. This wisdom is emphasized throughout Christian scriptures almost 100 times in various ways. In today's parable, Jesus ensures that we see what these men reap from their lives on each side of a gate. We need an ark as big as this story offers to better understand our earthly life. While no actions by either man are described here, their states of being are implied by their juxtaposition. The poor man is grateful for any scraps. Whisked off by angels to the bosom of Abraham, we can assume he lives without resentment, judgment, or hatred for the rich man on the other side of the gate. Surely his humility and purity of heart are what place him on the side of the chasm with those who trust in Spirit's love enough to accept what they cannot change, at least sometimes. The other side of the chasm holds those who still blindly control what they can for their own comfort, their own sense of safety. This chasm or gate exists in our lives too. Every day, like the poor man, we can sow seeds in our minds and hearts, seeds of a growing trust in Spirit, so more of our actions or inactions reflect love and compassion for all. Note how tender are the words for the rich man left on the other side of the chasm. Where do we trust? And where do we think or act with egoic need for control, consciously or unconsciously? Whose need do we see? and whose do we miss? Questions like these, asked honestly and with self-compassion, can offer clearer visions for living love. Meditations. There are 3 meditations in today's email. The first from Thomas Keating, Meditations on the Parables of Jesus. The sin of the rich man could not have been his wealth as such, since Abraham too was a rich man and found favour with God. The parable attacks the complacency of our divisions between rich and poor, the socially acceptable and the socially outcast. The gate or chasm symbolizes the grace that enables us to love our neighbour, every one, as ourselves. Gates can be barriers or passageways into solidarity with others. If the rich man had gone through the gate to reach out to the beggar and had not simply used it as a barrier to protect himself and his property, his fate would have been quite different. God does not set up barriers. We do. Our relationship to our local community and to the human family as a whole determines whether we are in the kingdom or out of it. The second meditation is from Beverly, Lanzetta, The Monk Within, Embracing a Sacred Way of Life. Loving the holy in all things is the beginning, middle, and end of devotion. The capacity to love without condition puts our hearts in touch with the original spark that animates creation. The miracle of love is that even if we have never received unconditional love from another person, we have the capacity to be the home of love. We have within ourselves the ability to be the source of love. Love can be our daily practice. Loving others requires wisdom. We must be wise in order to recognize how those who do not yet know how to love trample love. It requires wisdom to be mindful of the forces of ignorance that fracture and divide, while at the same time keeping love alive in the heart. True love is capable of holding in unity both our capacity of love as well as our capacity of unlove. The third meditation is again from Thomas Keating and his book Meditations on the Parables of Jesus. We are empowered to be and to act like God. Divine love is not a feeling, but a choice. It is to show mercy.
To practice. At the end of each day, reflect on the seeds sown in thought, word, deed, and the state of your heart. In the light of divine love, without judgment, what do you learn? Where did you love less than you wish? Where did you cooperate with love? What new intention do you have for each day? Practice the welcoming prayer with any sensations or emotions that arise. Practice the welcoming prayer to embrace each moment as it is. What would love as a daily practice look like for you? Need some comfort today, like the comfort the poor man gained? Sing aloud the spiritual Rock My Soul. There are 2 versions recorded in the email for this week. As any given day starts, consider how, if this were to be the last day of your life, you could add love to the world through your daily activities.
Finally, you're invited to post your reflections and or prayer requests using the link in today's email. By clicking on the subscribe link on the right-hand side of a thread, you can receive email notifications when someone from our community posts a comment or a prayer request. Some further notes. If you missed the Contemplative Outreach September e-bulletin, you'll find it linked in today's email or in the description for this video. There are 2 live Word of the Week prayer chapels offered to support your journey. Each prayer group has a slightly different reflection excerpt. Therefore, some participants attend both. The groups meet on a Tuesday, 8 to 9 a.m. Central or Chicago time, and on a Wednesday at 5 to 6 p.m. Central time. You'll find the link to join these prayer groups in today's email. And lastly, there are additional opportunities to support your silent prayer practice and spiritual journey on the Meditation Chapel, a Zoom-enabled worldwide meditation community. Each of these groups are free and open to all. You can find out more by clicking on the link in today's email or looking for the link in the description to this YouTube video.